Okay, so you're living in Baltimore, and you described how rough of an area it was, but at one point you actually saw your friend get killed?
Yeah. Back in Baltimore, we used to do this thing called bus hopping. And basically, if you want to get to one area of town to the other, you hop on back of buses. And so we were on the back of the bus, and he slipped. And there's another bus coming behind us, and it ran over his stomach, and he ended up dying a day later. Yeah.
And you actually saw that?
Yeah. I was on the back of the bus, doing something probably we shouldn't have been doing, but everybody did it back then.
Okay, and you were how old at the time?
I was probably 13.
Huh.
Mm-hmm.
What does that do to a 13-year-old to see their friend die, like right in front of them, essentially?
Well, that's traumatized. It really is. That bothered me for a long time, many years. That bothered me because we were like brothers, and we did everything together. And it was just a misfortune. He slipped, and it was raining, and the bus in front of us, behind us, didn't see him to the last second.
Yeah.
And it was too late at that point.
Sorry if you're lost, man.
Oh, thanks, bro.
Yeah. Okay, so you're living in Baltimore, but then at 16, you moved to North Carolina?
Yes. I told my mom that, when I saw another one of my friends, he robbed somebody. And I told my mom, I said, I'm leaving the city and I'm never coming back.
Okay, so your other friend got killed as well?
No, he didn't. He was robbing somebody else.
Oh, he was robbing people. Okay,
yeah.
Got it.
And he really wasn't a close friend, but it was someone we knew in the neighborhood. I told my mom I was leaving. She said, where are you going? I said, I'm going to North Carolina. Hopefully I find a career in basketball. And I left a week later, and I got discovered on the playground the next day.
Okay, you're 16 years old,
mm-hmm.
right? You leave Baltimore by yourself, or did you go with somebody?
I left by myself, one bag on a Greyhound bus.
Yeah. Okay, I'm just trying to get my head around this. A 16-year-old gets on a bus who's not rich, by the way. It's not like you got $100,000 in your pocket.
What I was going to do.
Right.
Had no idea.
You're a poor kid.
With. Yeah.
You go to Washington, North Carolina. Mm-hmm. You're not in Raleigh or one of the big cities, and you're just what, by yourself?
Well,
homeless.
My mom and my dad, their family, was from Washington, North Carolina.
Okay.
And so I knew people, but I didn't know who I was going to live with. So I see these kids as I get off the bus, they were playing basketball. So I went over there and asked them, could I play? I started playing with them. So after we finished, I'm sitting on the ground, and this older gentleman walks. He said, you live here? I said, I'm not sure yet. He looked at me, he said, well, where you going? You live here? I was like, I don't know. I'm not sure yet. And he said, come walk with me. And I don't know why I followed him. And he took me to his house. He showed me a bedroom, showed me a kitchen. He said, you can have all of this. Only trade-off is you have to play for my team. He was the high school coach. And I remember looking at him, I was like, okay. And that high school team ended up going 76-1 in 3 years in North Carolina.
Oh, yeah, you guys were killing it.
Oh, yeah,
we couldn't be killing it in high school. Yeah.
And the crazy thing about 4 to 5 starters were first cousins on that high school team.
Really?
It was crazy. Yeah.
Okay. And then things started taking off. You actually were featured in Sports Illustrated.
Mm-hmm.
And you made the McDonald's All-American game. Now, who were some of the big players during that year? Was Magic Johnson part of that?
That year was 1979. And it's just about 5 years ago, we was rated as the greatest high school senior class ever. Because that senior class had over 9 or 10 Hall of Famers come out of that class. I was on, McDonald's team with me, James Worthy, Isaiah Thomas, Ralph Sampson, Sam Bowie, Clark Kellogg. Just to name a few, Byron Scott, Paxson. I mean, I can go down the line, all the guys who were that year who was McDonald's All-American. We had 24 guys that was the top 24 in the country. All 24 played in the NBA. All 24 guys.
All 24 played in the
mm-hmm.
NBA. Right, I mean, because generally if you play in the McDonald's All-American, it pretty much assured a spot in the NBA later on.
Yeah, especially back then. Back then more so because, if you made the McDonald's game, you was considered the greatest players in the country. Mm-hmm. And it was hard to make the McDonald's game back in those days. So if you made it, you were pretty much going to get a shot to play in the pros.